Fox News propagandist Sean Hannity decided to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal, which is incredibly popular, by the way. It has support from 92% of Democrats and 64% of Republicans. So presumably Sean Hannity is going to talk about it, perhaps to chip away at its popularity. However, what you're going to see is that he's not going to actually accomplish what he sets out to do, because he's going to actually end up inadvertently promoting the Green New Deal in his attempt to attack it. Now, as you watch this clip, try to keep track of all of the buzzwords he throws around, like extreme and radical.
All right, welcome to Hannity. A lot of breaking news tonight. The 2020 presidential election is officially gearing up, and the Democratic Party, they're imploding. Radical, extreme, far-left socialists have now taken over. Any Democrat who doesn't fall in line and support this radical, extreme agenda, this left-wing vision, if you will, you get thrown down the curb by Ocasio-Cortez. You have a group now, and all of America needs to see this. Hyper-partisan freshman lawmakers, they are now leading the way. They set the agenda. Nancy Pelosi is afraid of all of those freshmen. The list is led by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, according to a report from the Washington Post, she warned her fellow Democratic lawmakers not to vote with Republicans, or she's going to put them on a list to be primaried in the next election. Welcome to Congress. Now, no surprise there. Political intimidation is always a key component of socialism. Now, after all, she needs as much support as she can get for this insane Green New Deal, which vows to totally reshape America by putting an end to all fossil fuels, combustion engines, nuclear energy, airplanes, and yes, cows because of flatulence and CO2 gases. It also promises to provide everything is free. You don't have to worry another day in your life. Free government healthy food, free daycare for your kids, free housing, free college education. Forget about K through 12. Free universal health care, free. Oh, but pro-choice Democrats, they're going to allow you to have your private plan anymore. Forget choice. You get guaranteed vacations, you get universal guaranteed income, a guaranteed retirement, even people unwilling to work.
Now, in case you missed it, here's the overall point that he was trying to drive home here.
Radical, extreme, far-left socialist, radical, extreme agenda, hyper-partisan political intimidation, socialism. It's insane. Everything is free. Free.
So do you get the point? This is what priming is. Priming is where you try to put a particular thought in someone's head without explicitly saying what you want them to think about, so that way they think they thought about this on their own accord. So for example, if I use the words buffoon, White House, orange, and idiot, I'm not telling you what to think about, but I can assume that Donald Trump came to mind, because I wanted you to think that you reached this conclusion and thought of Donald Trump when I said these things, so I can still have plausible deniability and say, well, I didn't say Donald Trump was a buffoon and an idiot. You thought of that. You thought his face in your head when I listed off those words. So when he is using buzzwords like radical and extreme, he's trying to prime his audience to think about the Green New Deal in a certain way. And it's clear what he wanted you to think about it as.
Radical, extreme, far-left socialist, radical, extreme agenda, hyper-partisan political intimidation, socialism. It's insane. Everything is free. Free.
What? He didn't say it. He never used the word communism. You thought about it. But he was trying to prime you to think about communism and think about the Green New Deal as if it were communism, because he's using all of these words that kind of point to communism. This is priming. This is how propaganda is disseminated, and it's exactly what he was trying to do here. The problem is that Sean Hannity is not a very good propagandist because he is incredibly transparent. And not only that, he's really bad at trying to drive a particular point home, because if you'll recall, he tried to fearmonger about her platform and he made it seem as if policies such as support seniors and solidarity with Puerto Rico were terrifying and horrible, but everyone saw that and we all just made fun of him. And now we're going to make fun of him Again, because in an attempt to smear Ocasio-Cortez and portray her as someone who we should all be afraid of, you're actually just giving her a platform and promoting her. So, of course, there were the lies in that segment. He claimed that she wants to ban cows and cars. Complete nonsense. Of course, that isn't the case. But here's what he tells you about the Green New Deal that he thinks will turn you off. Quote, everything is free. You don't have to worry another day in your life. Free government healthy food, free daycare for your kids, free housing, free college education, free universal health care. You get guaranteed vacations and get universal guaranteed income and a guaranteed retirement. When you say these things, he thinks you're going to just instinctively recoil and have this visceral reaction like, oh, that's horrible. But what you're describing, Sean, sounds amazing. And I only wish AOC was that radical. She's not in actuality. I wish she were that radical. But she doesn't support all of these things. Most of what he's talking about here is complete nonsense. It's a lie. But the point is that these aren't things that are going to scare the American people. They know that these aren't freebies because they're not free. We're paying for them for our tax dollars. And we're finally demanding as a people to actually have our tax dollars go towards us and to be reinvested back into our communities rather than funding never-ending wars or giving more tax breaks to the rich. And when you talk about these supposedly scary programs, let's look at this here. 71% of Americans say childcare is either very serious or a somewhat serious problem. I don't think that the idea of free daycare is going to scare those people. 60% of Americans support free college, 70% of Americans support Medicare for all, 78% of Americans support paid vacations, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hasn't said herself that she supports universal basic income to my knowledge, but 48% of Americans do, and I'd expect that to increase soon. Now also, 46% of Americans are concerned about their retirement. So you get the point, and there's not polls for everything that he talked about there, but basically what he's trying to do is say, you know all of these horrible problems that keep you up at night? Well, Ocasio-Cortez wants to solve them. Isn't she horrible? That's effectively what he's doing. He's a horrible, embarrassingly bad propagandist because you're actually making her look good. You're taking things that are popular or concerns of Americans and you're trying to say that they're actually negative aspects about the Green New Deal. Now, again, he's misrepresenting what the Green New Deal is and lying about it. But the things he's saying here, oh, well, everything is going to be free. You never have to worry about anything. Who in their right mind would see that as a negative, Sean? What a moron. He doesn't realize that he's inadvertently promoting it. And I love this. Now, another thing he says here, quote, pro-choice Democrats are not going to allow you to have your private plan anymore. Forget choice. Except if you actually talk to a normal American, Sean, you'll find out that they actually don't care about their private insurance. They care about their doctor. That's their concern. And moving to a Medicare for all system actually does let you keep your doctor. If you tell Americans, hey, what if I told you that you no longer have to pay your monthly insurance premiums that go up all the time, and then you still have to pay deductibles and copays, and you also no longer have to fill out paperwork every single year to reapply? What if I told you that that could all go away and we could just have the government be the single payer of healthcare? They're going to tell you that sounds amazing. Hence why 70% of Americans now support Medicare for all. I don't think he realizes what he's doing here and how his propaganda is actually not helping his cause. And if anything, it's going to backfire. So all I can say is that if Sean Hannity wants to keep attacking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and criticizing her, then keep it up because you're actually just giving her ideas a platform which are actually overwhelmingly popular, not just among leftist liberals like me, but among your own audience. Because Republicans, a majority of which now support Medicare for all and the Green New Deal, don't agree with you, Sean. They agree with her.
Girly Mike Fettuccine needs your support on Patreon. What a loser. Visit patreon.com/Humanist Report to support the low ratings Humanist Report. Sad. My views are much higher.